sit enjoying the shade.
Hey, brother, pour the wine.
Drink the drink that I have made.
Hey, brother, pour
Good
the wine.
evening. Happy Sunday. Welcome to Drink in the Style, brought to you by Habitation Furnishing and Design. I'm your host, Gregory Rich, and I'm going to help you kill your Sunday early evening with some booze and conversation. My guest is Patrick Thornton. Patrick is Director of Public Relations for Minneapolis-based advertising agency Russell Herder. Patrick, welcome to Drink in the Style.
Wow, thank you for having me. I'm very excited. This will be fun.
I'm excited as well, and I am going to put money down that I call you Russell
That's
at
fine.
least once.
You wouldn't be the first person that has called and asked for Russell. Yeah, no, or, yeah.
Ever
Happens
since
more often than you think.
I bet it does, especially when you're named Greg Rich, for example. You get Rich all the time. And at least I'm not going to refer to you as like Tim Apple or something like that. Might call you Patrick Herder.
That's fine, too. I'll answer to just about, I know you're talking to me. I'll answer to just about anything.
Excellent. All right, booze this evening is provided by our good friend from Mercy, Benedict's, both Benedicts, which would be Benedicti, perhaps.
Benedict Cumberbatch?
Metafeminist lumberjack. And Mill Valley Kitchen, that's Mr. Dan Newkirk sitting to my left. Dan, how have you been?
I'm a little hungover today.
I want to call it out. Yeah. We're recording on your very birthday,
yes,
the day that the earth welcomed you.
Yeah. Thanks, Ma.
Right. And you celebrated yesterday in preparation.
We celebrated yesterday.
We did.
Yeah.
A little behind the scenes. I actually went over to Newkirk's house, and you smoked and grilled some insanely good meat.
All the meat.
It was absolutely fantastic. So welcome back to Drink in the Style. Tell me, what is our... Well, actually, you know what? Actually, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Before we start talking about the anesthetic of choice, you do not like the term mixologist.
No, I don't.
That's been established.
Yeah.
You're not a huge... You're living with the master of spirits.
I put shit in a glass, Greg.
Beep. How about this one? Are you ready? A mutual friend of ours came up with this term, and I kind of like it.
Jesus.
Here we go. All right.
What is it?
Coctologist.
No.
Yep. There we go.
The PR guy
that sums up my life.
Started blinking out of synchronization.
Well, if you just think about what happened if you Googled that.
Until I'm the number one search for that Google search.
I wouldn't want to look at the first 10 pages of Google results if you Googled.
But it's all about rising to the top as a coctologist.
No.
Oh, the worms have been opened and the can is free.
And Patrick just had to leave the studio. No. All right, we'll take it under advisement. We'll go back to our PR representative and decide how damaging this could be for our image. But before we do that, let's talk about what we're drinking today. You are going simple.
Yeah, I need new cards made, by the way. So basically we're doing Casa Azul. It's a nice little hacienda in Jalisco. And normally we do cocktails. But the cool thing about this bottle, it's sexy shaped. It's kind of like a bowling pin.
Yeah.
And when they were working on the hacienda, and it was time for breakfast or for lunch, a simple, you knock the top, there's a bell put on the top of the bottle, and that alerted everybody that it was time to eat. And there's nothing like eating an agave.
Multiple uses for this bell, and I can imagine that there is.
Yeah, so reposado is minimum 3 months, maximum 1 year. This bad boy is 11 and a half months.
Oh, wow.
And it's just straight sex appeal.
It is absolutely fantastic. And one more time, the brand here...
It's something a coctologist would drink.
Do we have to beep that? Cocktail can be said.
If you're referring to it as a cocktail, because, again, the rule is if you're saying the body part or referring to it in that sense...
Body part? I'm
yes.
talking about my position as a job.
Exactly. It's his career.
Oh, there you go. Then you're fine. FCC, take that.
Excellent. It's like when we had Holly and Kelly on, and they were so taken by Cock and Bull brand ginger beer that they kept running with. All right, so it can work. We may have the answer.
You just cannot use it as an insult, because then we have to bleep it.
How is that an insult?
Well, what if you tell someone they're a poor coctologist? All right, no, Brett
it might
confused.
be in the literal sense, yeah.
All right. Well, we'll just let the government let us know after this airs.
Ask for forgiveness later. Yes.
This is also a very smooth drink.
It's good, right?
For everybody out there listening, it is quite good.
Well done, PR friend. Nice job of moving us off. All right, no, this is absolutely insanely smooth. It's got great smokiness, cool bottle, and you can bring people to dinner.
Yeah.
But there is no mixing, so we don't even need our mixing music, and Dan has already poured the drink for us.
Oh no.
I know. So we'll go directly to our next segment, which is, or not segment, but our next question, which is my semi-random question.
Go for it.
Now, Patrick, you are in public relations.
Yep.
I looked at your background. You've done a lot of writing. You've got written word. The question is simply this: the Oxford comma.
Yeah.
Are you in favor of it? Are you against it? And do you prefer Oxford comma or series comma?
Great questions, all of them. So the biggest writing influence that I had, the person that always taught me that taught me the most about writing is my father. He is very much from the Hemingway school of writing, very short, declarative, active voice sentences that it's not a lot of punctuation, just man walk down road, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
Fish,
that's
big fish.
I speak
Angry
in bullet
fish.
points, and I
Yep.
make a great Hemingway daiquiri.
Yep.
So you're speaking
Yeah.
my language right now.
So that's who I learned to write from, and he would call it the Oxford comma, and he did not use one. He superfluous, just go right with and. So that's how I started writing, and then when you get into I started my career as a newspaper reporter way back when, and when you learn the Associated Press style there is no Oxford comma either. So that's where I got my basis from. But I will say now, it is becoming much more common. A lot of our clients use it and prefer it. Some folks at Russell Herder do. So I wish I had a hard and fast rule. I guess it depends. Is this something that I'm doing for a client who's paying for it, who wants it in there? Because I've gone back and forth.
Do you charge extra?
Right.
We
Well,
could use the
right,
Oxford comma, but it's going to cost you $500.
Well, I've gone back and forth with people where I've written a draft of something and I didn't have it, and then they added it, and then they sent it back to me, and I took it out, and then they sent it. We've gone back and forth like that, where then it became this, tug of war. So the answer to your questions is I do not use it. I call it the Oxford comma, but I have. If some folks, I'm not one of those people where if you do use it, I think you're on par with, a serial killer. I think it's just. I think it is truly becoming an issue of taste and preference.
I'd rather have somebody be on par as a serial killer as opposed to the longest run-on sentences in the
that's true.
planet.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we probably should have defined the Oxford comma. That is essentially when you have a string of three things most
point.
often.
Good point.
Traditionally, you would have, we'll say, oranges, apples, and grapes.
Right.
You would have a comma between oranges and apples, and then you would have and grapes, no comma.
Right.
Which makes no sense because you question whether the and grapes is part of a package.
Lions and tigers and bears.
Exactly.
Oh, my.
Exactly.
Although there you have the ands. So
Well-
I don't know if you need a comma. Series, Oxford, or other.
That's what I was competing against.
It's fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I personally think it's a great idea. I am a huge fan of the Oxford comma. But then again, you talked about Hemingway. I used to like Fitzgerald. So I can't get enough commas and extra words in my reading.
And sometimes it's when you read a big piece of prose like that uses all the different or punctuation marks where there's a semicolon and an ellipse and a dash, an em dash in there. I think it's great. It's like like a little mini painting you see.
I agree. All right, we got to take a quick break. We'll be back in just a moment with Patrick Thornton.
All the dreams.
This is Gregory Rich, founder of Habitation Furnishing and Design and host of Drink in the Style every Sunday at 5 p.m. On the radio program, I often say that life is the big stuff, but living is in the details. The furniture in your home may be details, but that's where you do the living. So why not speak to one of Habitation's design professionals about making your space the best it can be? Habitation, 4317 Excelsior Boulevard in St. Louis Park. Did you know that Habitation Furnishing and Design has the area's largest selection of noir and CFC furniture? Are you familiar with them? I once had a customer describe noir as a cross between Restoration Hardware and Beetlejuice. I love that. And CFC, bench-made furniture out of the heart of California, is definitionally cool. In any event, check out the lines at noirfurniturela.com and then swing into the store and check them out in person. Habitation Furnishing and Design, 1 mile east of Highway 100 on Excelsior Boulevard. This is Gregory Rich, founder of Habitation Furnishing and Design and host of Drink in the Style every Sunday at 5 p.m. You know, I'm often asked what kind of furniture Habitation offers. Now, I can go two ways with this. I can say something like, Habitation specializes in warm, modern, raw, industrial, and organic contemporary home furnishings. But what does that mean? It means that we have some really cool stuff, and that is the answer that usually goes over better. But cool doesn't mean crazy. And I'm proud to say that everything we offer at Habitation is functional and comfortable. The type of furniture that will allow you to express yourself but still works every day. So there it is, Habitation Furnishing and Design, 4317 Excelsior Boulevard in St. Louis Park. It's the Twin Cities' best furniture and design showroom.
It's 2:45 and I got that thirst. Last night's blessing is this morning's curse. There's nothing nicer than a drinking hole. When you hear the call, when you hear the call, when you hear the call of demon alcohol.
Demon alcohol. How
Good
true
song.
it is, right? As we're enjoying some seriously good tequila, you are listening to Drink in the Style, a 1-hour conversation about art, architecture, and this week,
Yeah.
advertising and
Right.
public relations.
Exactly.
See, it all comes together.
It all ties in.
Beautifully. We got to tie in on that, and we're going to introduce that in segment 3. There's a curtain that gets pulled back, but until then, we're just going to go with generalities. Patrick Thornton from Russell Herder. Technically, what is the full name? Russell Herder Digital Advertising and Marketing?
Just Russell Herder. So the two of the founders of it's interesting. I can tell you the background of it. The folks who founded it 35 years ago in Brainerd, Carol Russell and Brian Herder. They're probably one of the few still independently owned marketing and advertising agencies in the Twin Cities. Which a lot of them are getting bought up by coastal firms, or there's been some mergers of late. So they're maintain their independence, and two of the three founding owners, which is pretty cool. So Russell Herder, Carol Russell, Brian Herder.
Interesting. Yeah, you spell it out as just one word. There's no hyphen. There's no dot.
We have a new logo now where there's a like sort of a slash.
Is there a slash?
We rebranded. We have a new website and a new logo. I got new business cards. The whole thing. But yes, yeah.
Speaking of new business cards, I might have to get some new business cards.
Dan's already
Director of Coctology.
the title.
Yeah, right? You're so welcome.
Greg, you did this. You did this.
I'm just glad we could get on the same page after the whole ugly mixology question.
Turn the page, man. Just turn the page.
Agreed completely. All right, so Russell/Herder,
Right.
which I think is great, and it should dramatically reduce the number of times that you're called Mr. Herder
There you
or
go.
Russell Herder.
Yeah.
Which is outstanding.
Yeah.
What else do you guys do?
Sure. So we are full service. We do advertising campaigns. We do social media. We do public relations, media relations, which is some of the stuff I do. But we'll write a website for you. We'll design a website for you. We will host and maintain a website for you. We will design your logos, your ads, your billboards. If you want to put one on the side of a bus earlier, or if you want to do the.
Can I get a discount if I buy all of Chris Lindahl's old stuff and just superimpose my face?
Yeah, just with a marker. Yeah, and then we also will do focus group strategy stuff. So let's say you say I want to change my business name to Coctologist, but I'm not entirely sure if that's a good thing to do. You would hire us, and we would go and do some market research for you, and we would say, we'll survey, 100 people, or how many, and ask them if they think that they would like to part with their hard-earned money at a bar run by somebody, and then maybe the results would come back, and you would say, hey, yeah, okay. It looks like they would.
You're saying there's a chance that it might actually work.
After
some research to be done.
After some strategy. I will never speak for the guy off the street or the woman off the street. So no, I don't. There's definitely a chance. But
It could go. And it also depends, I'm sure, of course, on what your target demographic is.
Soup to nuts.
You
Yep.
know? You
And,
may-
and for the record, I have full proxy to make that happen on my business card, and I'm not kidding.
So it's coming. So it's done and done at this point. All right. So you're full service
to
across the
nuts.
whole thing, but
Everything.
your specific area,
Yep.
of course, is public relations.
That's right. Yep.
Okay. So let's start on a PR from a PR perspective. First, what would you say are the cornerstones of a good PR campaign?
That's a good question. First, who are you trying to reach? You are a business and you're selling a service, or you are an organization and you're trying to, not enough people know about you. You're trying to increase awareness. So I think one thing I could say, a mistake that people make is they hire us and they don't really know what they're after or what their goal is or what would be a successful thing. So it's just sort of like a buckshot, scatter shot. They just they try a little bit of everything in every direction, and that's hard to measure. Who sees that? It's hard to measure if it has any of the impact that you want. So the first thing is, who are your fans? Who are your consumers? Who are the people that you're trying to target? Once you have that, what are the best ways to reach them? If you're trying to reach, people, 75-year-old women, with a lot of extra income who are, there's one very specific way to reach.
We call them sugar mamas.
Yeah, right, exactly. But Twitter advertising is not the best way to go after that group, or social media work. But if you are trying to connect with a younger crowd too, so figure out who you're trying to reach, and then figure out where they go to find information or to be influenced by things. And
Figure out your target market.
Yeah, figure out your target market, and then what's the best way to reach them? And then 3, what are you trying to tell them? What is the one thing? If you hear a radio commercial, they repeat the phone number 100 times. Think of like Shane Co. The guy who advertises about how he's off 394 in Louisiana, or Radio Drive in Woodbury. Like that's what you just.
As you just reiterated what he was trying to get you to reiterate.
Right. You remember only a few things from that because they only want you to.
So let me ask you a question, and this is one of the big things. Is I have a lot of influencer friends on social media.
Yeah, sure.
And DJs,
Sure.
and people that self promote.
Sure.
Are there really actual algorithms on the best times of day to post?
Yeah.
Because I don't get that sort of thing. That's not what I do.
That's a great question.
But I have people that advise me, saying that this is how you do it, this time of day, this day of the week. Is that actually a thing?
We can, yeah. I mean, we can tell you with not 100% certainty, but I can tell you that. But there are better times of the day to post. There are better times of the day to send out an email marketing message that will get you better open rates and better read rates. You never want to send something out on a Friday afternoon in the summer in Minnesota because people are, ducking out
At
of
the
work.
boat,
or
at the cabin.
Yeah.
Or stuck in traffic.
Or stuck in traffic, or they've, gone out for a 2.5-hour lunch and they're not. Yeah, I mean, definitely there are algorithms. I mean, it's not perfect, but you can pinpoint when.
So it's really a thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
And
It's-
mathematically, the data is there. You're analyzing, you've identified who your target group is,
Yep.
and you know when these people's eyes are on their screens or whatever areas.
And they, Facebook is a great example. I mean, they're in the news all the time for just that, just that stuff. What do they know about us, and what do they?
Everything.
Yeah, right. No, there are hard and fast rules about best times of the day and best days of the week to definitely try to connect with people.
So what about this question? So now we're talking a lot about social media. Now, there is a hard and fast line for the most part between advertising and public relations.
That's right.
Right? Mm-hmm. But when you get into social media, you start to blur that line, don't you?
You totally do. I mean, he had mentioned some of his influencer friends. I mean, they're doing both, really.
Mm-hmm.
They're storytelling, and they're trying to connect with people. They're trying to get their name and face and brand out there. Mm-hmm. Is it advertising? Is it free content? It can be both. And now when you can pay, like a sponsored post on Twitter or Instagram, I mean, you can expand the eyeballs that will see you. So it used to be very much like public relations was free. It was earned. It was something you did through, getting a news story on TV, and advertising was something you paid for. But very much that those lines are blurring more every day.
There used to be a line, what was it? Something along the lines of news reporting is writing things that they don't want you to see. Everything else is public relations.
Yeah. That's exactly. I've heard that line.
I love it. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to down some more tequila, which means segment 3 is going to be great. Stick with us. We'll be back in just a moment.
Comes to an end, and there we find the long lost friend, the wilderness.
This is Gregory Rich, founder of Habitation Furnishing and Design and host of Drink in the Style every Sunday at 5 p.m. You know, I'm often asked what kind of furniture Habitation offers. Now, I can go 2 ways with this. I can say something like, Habitation specializes in warm, modern, raw, industrial, and organic contemporary home furnishings. But what does that mean? It means that we have some really cool stuff, and that is the answer that usually goes over better. But cool doesn't mean crazy. And I'm proud to say that everything we offer at Habitation is functional and comfortable. The type of furniture that will allow you to express yourself but still works every day. So there it is, Habitation Furnishing and Design, 4317 Excelsior Boulevard in St. Louis Park. It's the Twin Cities' best furniture and design showroom. Did you know that Habitation Furnishing and Design has the area's largest selection of noir and CFC furniture? Are you familiar with them? I once had a customer describe noir as a cross between Restoration Hardware and Beetlejuice. I love that. And CFC, bench-made furniture out of the heart of California, is definitionally cool. In any event, check out the lines at noirfurniturela.com and then swing into the store and check them out in person. Habitation Furnishing and Design, 1 mile east of Highway 100 on Excelsior Boulevard. Habitation Furnishing and Design is simply the best furniture design studio in the Twin Cities. What is a furniture design studio? It's a place where you'll find professional interior designers who are there to help you select the perfect furniture. A single sofa or an entire home. Our designers love making spaces exceptional. When you're shopping for furniture, it makes sense to talk to a professional. Habitation Furnishing and Design, 4317 Excelsior Boulevard in St. Louis Park. Welcome back to Drink in the Style, Sundays at 5 p.m. on AM 950 here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's available anytime as a stream or a podcast. You can visit am950radio.com or the rarely but often batch updated drinkinthestyle.com to catch previous episodes. We're speaking with Patrick Thornton from Russell Herder Advertising. Yes. Patrick, okay. We're talking about PR, yep. And here's the big question in the 21st century on my mind for a PR executive.
Okay.
All right, how important are personal connections in the industry? Do you need to have a drinking relationship with reporters all over town? Is that still the case?
Yeah.
Good answer.
I mean,
are you hiring?
So my boss started out when she would have a press release, she would print it out, get in her car and drive it over to the newspaper or the TV station and knock on the door and go up and hand it off and sit and talk to the people. And, that's how you made connection. Now, the first contact is an email or a tweet or a rare, I still like to pick up the phone every once in a while, but I think I'm getting to be more and more in the minority of that. Some of the younger folks, if I ask them to call somebody, they look at me like, why would I ever have to do that? But so, I mean, the technology allows you to reach more people and quicker, but yeah, there is nothing will ever replace the face-to-face hanging out, looking across the table, having a drink or a cup of coffee or a meal with somebody. I mean, yeah, that's something that I definitely try to make as much time for as I can.
So for at least one more generation, it matters sitting down and having a cocktail.
Yep, I think so. Maybe one more generation. Yeah,
I think they call that hand-to-hand combat.
Oh yeah, I actually like that.
Relationship building. It's a sale. I mean, it's a sale. What I'm doing is there's a sales component to it too, and it's much easier to.
Well, everybody's always selling.
Yep, and it's much easier, I think, to be able to look somebody in the eye to sell it to them than write a perfect email that they may read the first 2 lines of. And
if they don't like it, cry me a river, build a bridge, and get over it. 86 feelings.
And when you meet with somebody too, it may not pay off right then. It may be a month later. It may be 2 weeks later or 2 months later, where they finally say, "Hey, I been meaning to call you up about this.
Well, one of the things that's great about your job is that you are, if you're doing your job properly, as I understand it, and I actually had a brief stint when I first moved to Minneapolis in public relations. I actually worked for the St. Paul Chamber Orchestra
cool.
doing public relations, where I learned to spell Dvorak was my big takeaway from those 6 months.
yeah.
But there's also a symbiotic relationship between a good PR person and a good news media outlet. That is to say, you're partially doing their job for them. You're bringing them something to talk about and explore.
Yeah,
right?
or at least making them aware. I know that a reporter that I need them a lot more than they need me. I kind of understand that, but yeah, there is some give and take to it. Where sometimes they may have some space to fill in a magazine, or they may need somebody that can be available for an interview that afternoon, and when I can help, I definitely try to do that. Yeah.
And if you've got that kind of a relationship with an outlet, that's got to be fabulous.
Where they think to call me first. That's what I'm hoping to do. Yeah, just make a connection.
Yeah. Which we have a call out to Connections radio program on AM 950. Fair enough. All right. So we talked about, you're in public relations. This is Drink in the Style. This is not necessarily on the surface a mesh, but there was a secret behind this.
Yes.
We are not just going willy-nilly into a new area of discussion.
Yes.
The link between Russell Herder and the design world is this: you do PR for the ASID, the American Society of Interior Designers, correct?
Yeah, we've worked with the Minnesota chapter for about 4 years, and before that, we worked with the national chapter.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and they are, as a client, they're one of my favorites. They are, first of all, you're dealing with a bunch of creative, fun, interesting, artistic, and energetic people that have great ideas about what something should look like, or how it should read. They're an engaged client, which to me is a lot more fun and rewarding to work with than someone where you only just hear yes or no.
I'm actually indifferent about the ASID because aren't they giving you an award? I mean, have they really thought this through?
I don't know if they are, actually. I was nominated, and I'd like to say it's an honor just to be nominated.
So
but I'd
ASID
like to
nominated you. Is that really the smartest thing they could do? See the Boy Scout high there?
We're running through. No, it's true. So ASID, you're absolutely right. We'll make a formal announcement if they happen to bestow any kind of laurel on me.
You just said bestow. I
did.
mean, really?
I did say bestow, and I used laurel as well.
I like laurel. Yeah, that's good.
Thank you.
What's
Thank
you don't know? You might be.
Gosh darn wordsmiths.
I don't know. I got to figure out who I
And
can
your
pay off.
semicolons and your Oxford commas. What kind of world are we living in?
A world that cost me a hell of a lot of money for a college education and grad school, and now I'm selling furniture. What is so ASID? But we do love ASID, and they do great work. They must actually. So you talk about their engagement on a spectrum, on a whole on a spectrum. They probably are one of the most visually engaged groups that you're working with, right?
Without a doubt. Yeah, color. Hue.
I don't understand what that means. Explain that.
That I don't hear from a whole lot of other clients. We do, Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, it's just designers are about making beautiful spaces.
Yeah.
I mean, that's first and foremost. There's
Right.
other things that they do. So I can only imagine that whereas regular business might take issue with your inappropriate use of an Oxford comma,
Right.
ASID,
I like it.
they might be worried about whether there's a serif associated with that comma.
definitely.
But they're probably looking at the visuals.
Yeah, and we do posters for them, we do ads for them, we do logos for them, we do all kinds of creative designed pieces. So it's visual is a lot. We do other work for them too. But yeah, one of the things we've started to do lately is we got on Fox 9 Morning News. I know you're a big viewer of the buzz. You can't pry your eyes away from it. But we've started to get a regular segment there where two ASID designers will go on and talk about a project they've done. And that's been a fun thing to work with. Television is very obviously visual medium, and they get to talk about the work they did, sort of show the before, during, and after. Talk about what they were what they were going for, what are the design elements that they were trying to include. And it's just a great opportunity to showcase some of the really talented designers on television. It's been a really cool thing, and they some clients I get nervous about when they go on TV because you can prepare, and then when the red light goes on, they
You can't polish a turd.
right, they freeze and start to flop sweat, and but they do great and minimal. It's just winging it sometimes. Well, not always, but you feel like they get right out of the car and they're great.
Well, you're focusing it on particular areas. So
We've done like
Buzz
sort of
show.
themes. Yeah, we've done sort of like and we did one in the summer that was about designing an outdoor space. So they talked about decks or patios or gazebos or that kind of thing. We did one in September about back to school. So it was about a study. Or a storage kind of place for kids, like a mud room or something like that. So yeah, there's a theme to it.
But again, like we talked about before off the air, Facebook, like there's algorithms, there's timing, there's actually a science behind what you do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, yeah.
Not just anybody could do it. There's data that supports what you do.
I think you can. Yeah. Yes. I think you can get better at it through practice, like anything, through repetition and training and just trying. But yeah, no, there is it's not just by accident.
You just can't walk into that sort of thing.
I think so. Yeah.
No doubt.
Creating value with what you do is the most important thing.
All right, that's the you've distilled it down perfectly to the nutshell. Yes.
I like that you used the word distilled. That was a great play on words. You're speaking my language, sir.
Thank you.
The ASID thing though is I'm totally following what you're saying. And putting them on the TV program is a stressful experience, but they're talking about something that they necessarily
that they did. It's their work.
Passionate about.
Yeah.
But there's also got to be a theme. And when you're working with ASID, there has to be some kind of a cohesive story that you want to tell associated with the organization, right?
Right.
So how would you determine what that cohesive story is?
So there's two messages that ASID has that I try to keep at the top of my mind. One, they want to recruit new members, new people to sign up, to show the value of an ASID membership to designers who may not be. You can. Why would you want to join the organization, and to present those benefits, both the sort of the intangible, the hard benefits, and there's some soft benefits that come with it too. The second message is why, if I was going to hire a designer, why would I want to hire one who is a member of ASID Minnesota? What's the benefit for me, the homeowner, or me, the business owner? What do I get with hiring a designer who has that stamp, that impromptu as part of their name? So those are the two sort of they're not competing; they're parallel in a lot of ways too. Messages that we're trying to get across, and we do that through a whole bunch of different ways. One of them is they do a great job of professional development for their members. They have a lot of fun events that they do that bring people together, where you get a bunch of designers in a room talking. There's exchange of ideas and information. There's networking for them to find. Maybe they're looking to try to hire someone, or they're looking to find a business lead, or they're looking to find a referral. So we do a lot for their event stuff. And then they have a lot of sort of outward facing public events too that we're always trying to promote and get people to come to once you get them in the door, to see the value for somebody that would come in off the street. What do they get by coming to an ASID event or working with ASID designers?
So let me ask you a question. So what is so currently we talk about Chris Lindahl and all the marketing strategies. Yeah. Right now, what is your favorite marketing strategy that's in our lives daily?
I think Facebook Live is just the social media live stuff. It's cheap to do. Doesn't cost you anything.
I like your style.
Yeah. With some practice, you can get better at it. With some strategy, you can get in front of the right people.
By strategy, you mean you're for hire.
Right. Well, yeah, always. Right. But you can target.
That's great.
You can target the people that you want to do, and you don't need to spend what you would spend on like a professionally produced television commercial. Right. Which Lindahl obviously does those too. But
and we've already said his name twice.
Yeah. Right.
So.
We're giving him. Right.
Yeah. Seriously, I'm sending him a bill.
But with a cell phone and some lighting and a little bit of practice, you can have that genuine. You can tell your own story in a genuine, authentic, and professional way.
That's your favorite right now.
I think so.
It's like the self-exposed story.
I don't think you need to cry if that's what you mean by
Hey,
self-exposure.
if I'm gonna cry, I'm gonna cry. All right.
I'd tune in for that. I just want to say. Ever any concern about possible backlash from a Facebook or social media type of a presence?
Because you don't get to control the comments, right? I mean, there is. That's it.
Sad face.
And there's also the truth that nobody feels good about using Facebook these days.
Well, that's a whole nother topic.
Let's explore that for a second or two. But we should take a look on our Facebook stream and see if we got any angry
Explore
faces.
this. I social media when I'm sitting on my squatty potty. Thank you very much.
No. This has been Drinking the Style, and we need to drink more.
In memory one day.
This is Gregory Rich, founder of Habitation Furnishing and Design. I have a philosophy. Furniture should be beautiful, but if it's not comfortable, it's not much use to anyone. That's why at Habitation, we work hard to make sure that the furniture we sell is stylish and functional. Unique and useful. What more can you ask for? Habitation Furnishing and Design, 4317 Excelsior Boulevard in St. Louis Park. It's the Twin Cities' best furniture and design showroom. Did you know that Habitation Furnishing and Design has the area's largest selection of noir and CFC furniture? Are you familiar with them? I once had a customer describe noir as a cross between Restoration Hardware and Beetlejuice. I love that. And CFC, bench-made furniture out of the heart of California, is definitionally cool. In any event, check out the lines at noirfurniturela.com and then swing into the store and check them out in person. Habitation Furnishing and Design, 1 mile east of Highway 100 on Excelsior Boulevard. This is Gregory Rich, founder of Habitation Furnishing and Design. I have a philosophy. Furniture should be beautiful, but if it's not comfortable, it's not much use to anyone. That's why at Habitation, we work hard to make sure that the furniture we sell is stylish and functional. Unique and useful. What more can you ask for? Habitation Furnishing and Design, 4317 Excelsior Boulevard in St. Louis Park. It's the Twin Cities' best furniture and design showroom.
One man's pigeon is another man's dove, and one man's push is another man's shove. One man's rock is another man's sand, one man's fist is another man's hand. One man's tool is another man's toy, one man's grief is another man's joy, one man's squawk is another man's sing, one man's crutch is another man's wing.
Welcome back to Drinking the Style. We've been listening to Mick Harvey's One Man's Treasure is Another Man's Trash album. Hank Williams said it best. That was the most recent album or track that we were just playing, and I love that song.
Me too.
Right? It's really top notch.
I've never heard that song before my entire life, but I've been saying that my entire life.
Well, it's true. It's absolute truth. It gets to one point. The most true of it all is one man's dollar is another man's dime. From a retailer perspective, that's one of the things that you need to have your staff understand, is that you can't superimpose your own value perspective on someone else because everything is relative.
If it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense.
No,
The idea that somebody that comes into one of your restaurants and rings up a $200 tab is just as important as somebody who comes into your restaurant and rings up a $1,000 tab, right? You want them both.
Everybody is VIP.
Yep.
Always.
Yep. You want them both to feel like they were treated like the most important person in the place, and then hopefully they'll come back and tell their friends.
Well, people were like, "Oh yeah, no, this person's coming in." I'm like, I don't give a shit. Everybody get treated like VIP. Always.
as they should. Because you know what? How much you're
that's the
spending
cheers
doesn't matter.
scenario.
Salud. We are all going to raise our glass. Brett, you in there in the radio? All right.
Everybody's special.
Everybody is special. Everybody is special. Well,
Stop.
yeah, all right. Okay, we've been speaking with Patrick Thornton from Russell Herder Advertising Firm in Minneapolis.
Yes.
By the way, where are your offices located?
Yeah, we're in the International Market Square.
You are in IMS,
Yeah,
yes.
Oh.
right up there on the third floor.
I'll be seeing you soon for the Iron Fork competition
Yes.
on October 24th.
It's exciting.
I'm
yeah.
doing some gnarly shit.
Ooh, look forward to hearing more
Bleep.
about that.
Yeah. No, the places. They've been under construction for the better part of.
The remodel is amazing.
Yeah,
the place
but
looks
it's
awesome.
starting to come together. You can park there again. Stop by and see us. Or
They did a terrible job on the drainage in the parking lot, though. Now they have a water feature.
They did.
Well, they also cut 12th off, so getting there is a bit
I know.
tricky. Without GPS,
True.
you're FUCK.
True, but it is a gorgeous building. I just love the building,
100%.
and they've resurrected that space just
Yeah.
really, really well. So you're at IMS, Patrick.
Yep.
How else do people learn more about Russell Herder?
Sure. Russell, RUSSELL, Herder, HERDER.com is our website. We're on not all of the social media channels. We're on just about all the social media channels. We're not on Snapchat.
Are you Russell with 2 L's?
2 E's, 2 L's.
No kidding.
2 E's?
Or 2 S. No, not 2 E's. No, that doesn't make sense. 2 S's, 2 L's.
The tequila is doing its work. So once again, Russell Herder, RUSSELL,
Yes, that's right.
HERDER.com.
Not 2 E's. Thank you.
However, I'm sure someone's going to Google that, and
Right.
let's hope that it's not.
Right.
You don't want to see.
I'm just trying not to screw up the semicolon or the apostrophe
comma.
or Oxford comma.
You know, I should also ask, by the way, ASID is one of your clients.
Yep.
Do you guys focus in any particular industry?
Well, we do and we don't. I mean, we'll talk to anybody who would be interested in our services. But yeah, we have some focus areas. Design is one. Construction. We do some medical associations. We do some ag stuff too. Entrepreneurial, small business is kind of our bread and butter. We do, but if you want to hire us, we'd definitely love to talk to you. Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. And again, you guys do great work.
Thank you.
You've done
I
wonderful
appreciate
stuff
it.
with the ASID and
Appreciate it.
what have you. What about you, coctologist Newkirk? What do you want to plug?
I mean, so we have all the properties: Mill Valley Kitchen, Mercy, Benedict's. One of the fun things we're doing coming up soon is the Iron Fork competition.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's only 4 of us, so unfortunately
4 restaurants.
there's only 4. There's only people competing on the booze side of it.
Okay.
It's more food focused, but they do the food thing for fun. I'm gonna get weird, so either I'm gonna win or I'm gonna be
Have to
jolly.
leave.
Be jolly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Iron Fork is being held at IMS. This is a competition for what? Local restaurants, best meals?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, everything's competition.
That's very true.
It's just I plan on winning. So
As well you should. And when is this being
super
held?
humble. October 24th.
October 24th. That's like next week practically.
Yeah. Pre-sale tickets are $5 cheaper. Otherwise, just come and support.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll be there. You can meet your favorite Drink in the Style radio personalities.
It's going to be fun.
With his psychic coctologist.
May I introduce you to my coctologist?
Cool event.
All right, let's put this thing back on the rails. Before we forget,
Yes.
there was another aspect of Russell Herder that I had meant to talk about and I hadn't brought up yet, so I
Oh.
apologize for that. But, I mean, it's a fascinating something. You are designated
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
a certified B corporation.
What does that mean?
What's that mean?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It's I'll tell you, and we'll see how good I do at this. So we're a for-profit business. We are not a nonprofit. We like money. Give us money. But one of the things that we do that is cool is the idea that you can be a business and work for profit, but you can also be a business that works to make the world a better place.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and it sounds, but it's not. I guarantee you can do it. We do it in large and small ways. Some of it is we do work for clients that, we would contribute some B Corp money or time usually where they wouldn't be able to afford our services. They're a smaller nonprofit or they're part of they share some of the similar values that the business does, where we would help those people out. But then also the owners, they give every employee gets time off to volunteer. Every employee is encouraged to use their talent outside of the walls to help. You can go whether it be for your kid's school or some neighborhood organization where you're encouraged to help out and to also sort of it does sound corny, but part of it is to make the world a little bit better place. And to do that, though, it's not just saying that. We also, every year we have to submit to like we get audited to make sure that we're actually living up to some of these things in different categories, like what's your environmental impact.
So you're not the Susan B. Coleman Foundation where you only give 10%.
Right. Yep, you have to show your
Shout out to fuck you.
your
Bleep.
contributions. That's to an independent organization that sort of measures us to make sure we're doing what we say. So it's a cool thing.
That's amazing.
Because of it too, one of the cool things is we attract. There's a certain kind of person that would want to work at Russell Herder, and then there's also we get to do a lot of work with certain kind of clients who also share those ideas. ASID is a great example too. Yeah, so it's a good conversation starter, and it brings a lot of cool people together. It's something that definitely drew me to the agency when I was looking for jobs.
Fair enough. And what's the organization that does this certification?
It's called the B Lab. It's like an independent nonprofit out on the East Coast. And so,
why did they choose B? No offense, but I mean, to be certified B kind of implies that.
I know.
Right?
So there's 20 benefit corporations, I think, or not quite, in the state of Minnesota. There's like a little loose network or affiliation where we're trying to get together on a more regular basis and where you get all of them in the room together. But yeah, why they chose B, I don't know. I could certainly probably find out for you. But there's S Corps and there's other kinds of designations. But yeah,
That's true. But B just implies
sounds
maybe it's
like there's
certified
a-
benefit. B for benefit.
yeah, maybe that's why.
Let's run with that. That's going to be the new story.
Or Queen Bee at the
yeah.
top.
Well, our CEO is a beekeeper, apiarist.
Oh, here we
Really?
go. Here we go.
She has like the hives and stuff and wears.
Honestly,
Really?
So the last day at the patio bar, one of my bartenders was freaking about bees. I was like, if you kill one of these bees, I will fire you. The honeybees.
Yes,
Do
they're.
not touch the honeybee.
Our lives depend on these bees at this
100%.
point.
100%.
Yeah, seriously. So as an is it apiarist?
I think that's how you pronounce it. Yeah.
Okay.
I know how to spell it. Apiarius.
Does she do
Yeah.
like a bee beard? A bee beard?
No,
I've seen
but
videos of
she
that.
has a place in Brainerd, and she you'll see it with there's the 4 or 5 high. They almost look like drawers, like
Yeah.
you would see like in a
You
cabinet.
pull out, you smoke them, you put them to sleep.
I am 100% on board with alternative sugar sources
Yeah.
and like low glycemic index. Honey is my everything.
A big fan of honey.
Yeah.
And the only food known to man that never goes bad.
Last night,
you know that?
last night, my sugar source for the Asian slaw was honey.
I tasted it, actually. I was going to make a comment on that because you can
Nice.
honestly taste. But it's
Yeah.
true. Honey never goes bad. There are jars of honey that they have found in ancient
it's
Egyptian
sugar.
tombs that can still be consumed.
Sugar is it makes
Really?
it last.
That's all. She makes. She gave everybody a jar, for lack of a better word, of honey. If she has an extra one, I'll steal one from you. She does. She makes her own honey. I did not know that that it never went bad though. See,
2 jars.
always learning.
2
Drink
jars.
in
Always
the
learning
style.
on drinking.
2 jars. 2 jars.
That's great.
Patrick, we're friends now. 2 jars.
Not to mention, as bees are dying off, I mean,
Yeah.
that's going to be a valuable commodity to own these bees, like little flying gold nuggets.
Like kill the wasp, save the bee.
Yeah.
Kill the wasp and the mosquito. Kill the
one of the-
wasp, kill the mosquito.
Mosquitoes are almost dead. I got like maybe 2 bites this year.
Really? That's interesting. That's really interesting.
The pheromones.
When I first moved to Minnesota, somebody told me, the joke is that the state bird is the mosquito.
Correct.
And then I soon realized that the joke is that it's not a joke. The
No,
state bird is
it's
the
accurate.
freaking
Yeah, but
mosquito.
also like tying
Majestic.
to that, what's really funny is so the state fish is the walleye, right?
Makes
Do you
sense.
know that every walleye you eat in Minnesota is Minnesota bound? We only eat Canadian walleye.
Yeah.
It's against FDA
Yes.
to serve Minnesota caught walleye.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's
the
fascinating.
more you know rainbow just kicked up.
Well, there it is. My God, this has been an extraordinarily informational
I feel like
episode.
I've learned a lot. I mean it in many different ways.
There it is, my friends. We have drunk our way through another episode. On behalf of Habitation, on behalf of Patrick and
Yeah.
Dan, and everybody else at the American Society of Interior Designers, I would like to wish everybody good luck this coming week. And I will leave you with a quote from one of my favorites, Oscar Wilde. There's only one thing in life worse than being talked about, and that is not being talked about.
Oh.
La 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 la.